Now that Misty is basically a double agent, the question obviously I think fans would have is between Chapter 5 and 6 and mostly the last special, which is the Secrets of Starlight, are we going to get a confrontation between Misty and Opaline? Now I think I did mention in my original discussion about this that obviously Opaline's going to find out, that Misty has a cutie mark. Because let's not forget, Opaline basically promised Misty, hey, I'll get you a cutie mark. Um, but obviously that hasn't happened yet. And yet, it already has, though, for Misty. If you kind of get what I'm saying. But again, the question obviously is, you know, when are we going to get this confrontation between Chapter 5 and 6 and the final special? Will we get it in Make Your Mark? Will we get it in Tell Your Tale? Because we know that they have a couple of, or if not several, 22, if not 25, 30 plus minute, versions, of Tell Your Tale coming out next year. We know that. We know that's going to happen. But the question, though, is, will the confrontation, like I said, because, obviously we got to have a face-off between the two. We got to have a face-off where either, we get to a point that Misty saves Opaline and it makes Opaline realize, the error of her ways, which is traditional for a majority of villains in MLP in recent years, if not the previous generation and this one. Or, are we going to get a confrontation to where, no matter how hard she tries, there's not going to be no getting through to Opaline. And because there'll be getting through to Opaline, will we have that face-off? That fight, that battle, if you will. It's a good question. It's a good question to ask and wonder. Because obviously, you got to build to that. You got to get to that point. And, I think honestly, like I say, you got to build to that point. And I think building to that point is eventually Opaline finding out that Misty got a cutie mark. But I don't think it's just that. Opaline has to find out, why maybe, Sunny and her friends are getting like a step ahead of her. Like how they know what she's gonna do next and everything, or how they're tipped off as to what she's gonna do next and everything, and kind of be ready for it, or at least try to be ready for it. Obviously that moment's coming to where Opaline is going to put two and two together, and she's going to realize that the only way that Sunny and her crew know what's going on, or at least are tipped off about what she's going to do, or at least have a, step ahead, kind of have a plan that's a step ahead of her, is because of Misty. And that she's going to not only confront Misty about this, but this will also be where she finds out Misty has a cutie mark. So you got to build to this moment. You got to build to this moment to where these two will confront each other in a fight. You got to build to that moment. And I think by building to that moment, you come full circle with Misty's reformation, or reformation, if you will. You come full circle with it. And whether or not she'll be able to help Opaline see the error of her ways, or Opaline is one of those villains that can't be redeemed, that's going to basically, like I said, bring things full circle for Misty. Because it's either, she redeems, Opaline, she helps Opaline see the error of her ways, and Opaline tries to make up for what she's done, and even gives Sparky back his power and everything. Or what happens, is Opaline loses her power. She loses everything. and she either gets imprisoned, either in Tartarus, if Tartarus still exists, which I think it does, or she gets banished into some kind of limbo, or something. Something will happen. Something will happen. But again, obviously, you got to build to this moment. Eventually, where they will Misty and Opaline will have the confrontation, because again, like I said, you can't just have Opaline not figure out in chapter 5, chapter 6, and even the special, between that time frame, if you will, as well as what happens in Tell Your Tale, which connects everything as well. You can't tell me that in between the upcoming episodes of Tell Your Tale, and what's going to happen in chapter 5 and chapter 6 of Make Your Mark, which again is all interconnected together, you can't tell me she won't find out, because she will. And I'm going to tell you this, you have people here like Master Code AA, Dr. Wolf, and others talking about this, basically recently with Misty getting her cutie mark, and how much, chapter 4 has stepped up its game and basically shown that it can be exactly what a lot of MLP, FIM fans have been hoping, Generation 5 would be, as a series, kind of living up to what Generation 4 was. If you think them talking about, chapter 4, and especially the finale, and Misty getting the cutie mark and all that is something, just wait till we get to the moment between now and the final special of the current run for Make Your Mark. Because when the moment comes in between now and then, when you get that confrontation between Misty, and you get that confrontation, I should say, between Misty and Opaline, and whatever the end result will be, it's going to get people talking. Whether it's a good result or not, it's going to have people talking. There's no doubt. Because you are building up to this moment. Misty is one of those characters that has a story arc that now is going to be more intriguing, because, again, you have her on the inside getting intel, if you will, and tipping off her friends as to what Opaline is going to do next, without Opaline, for the time being, not realizing that Misty has a cutie mark. Now, Misty has magic now, and not figuring it out until finally she kind of puts 2 and 2 together. This is a classic trope that's been done in all kinds of shows in the past several decades. I mean, for me, most notably is Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic SatAM. It was the second to last episode of season 2 called Spy Hog, and throughout all of the episodes after Sonic conversion, the Freedom Fighters always had a heads up, or always like a heads up, a step ahead, always were like a few steps ahead, if you will, of Eggman, of not Eggman, but of Robotnik. They were always a few steps ahead, like they knew, I should say, what was going to happen, because Sonic's Uncle Chuck, who was roboticized, not only got back his free will, but was serving as a double agent. So he would filter information to them as to what Robotnik was going to do to give them the advantage. And it wasn't until Spy Hog that Robotnik finally put 2 and 2 together, like something is not right here, somebody is spying for the Freedom Fighters, and it's costing me. And it wouldn't be revealed till later on that to Robotnik, that it was Uncle Chuck. And not only did this kind of tip off Robotnik, like, okay, I need to be a step ahead now myself and everything, but it also made him realize that, yeah, these roboticized citizens can get back their free will. It's just, a matter of how. And again, this would also explain why, in the season 2 finale, at that time, which was also the series finale, Robotnik was a step ahead in launching Doomsday, because he knew Uncle Chuck was probably still spying for the Freedom Fighters, so he basically made it sound like he was going to launch the Doomsday Project, the following week, not when he did. So the way it relates, again, coming back to Misty and Opaline, is I think that's the direction we're heading in with this scenario, that Misty is going to be that double agent. She's going to let Sunny, she's going to let Hitch, she's going to let Zip, she's going to let, um, okay, hold on. Like I said, she's going to let Sunny, she's going to let Hitch, she's going to let Zip, she's going to let Pip, she's going to let Izzy, she's going to let them in on what's going on. And so that they have a clue, an idea of, okay, on how to counteract whatever plan or scheme Opaline has. And over time, Opaline's going to put all that together. Like, okay, how is Sunny and her crew able to figure out where I'm going to be? Or how are they able to be a step ahead of me and, get access to what I need to get access to and stuff? She's going to put all that together, and then she's going to confront Misty. It'll be the first of two confrontations. She's going to confront her about it, and that's when she's going to find out, not only by overpowering Misty, overpowering Misty and all that, but that's when she's going to find out that not only does Misty have a cutie mark and have her magic, but Misty's been the one doing it. Misty's been the one leaking the information. And that might be towards the end of Chapter 6, going into the Secrets of Starlight special. But, if it happens then, and then, like I said, in between with whatever happens in Tell Your Tale, the second and final confrontation between them, the fight, if you will, is going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it in the end. It's going to get people talking. It's going to get people talking because, to me, you're basically putting Misty into this role. I wouldn't say it's similar to Starlight, Starlight Glimmer, but it's kind of close to it, to where she's going to become a powerful unicorn. It's what she's going to be. I mean, Starlight basically, she's not an alicorn, but magical wise, she's on par, with Twilight. Before she became ruler of Equestria and all that, but still on par. Misty, I think, is going to go in that direction. It's going to head in that direction to where she too will be on par with Sunny. Sunny's going to go full alicorn. We see that already. Whether it's in Make Your Mark and Secrets of Starlight or even in Tell Your Tale next year, she's going to go full alicorn. We know that. Misty is going to be there to take on that role of being the second most powerful out of the group. So I think that's what they're building to as well, that she's going to take on the mantle of second most powerful of the new main six, behind Sunny the Star Scout, by basically confronting and helping Sunny and her friends defeat Opaline, and maybe even try to redeem her if she can. But then again, like I said, Opaline could be put in that position to where she's one of those characters that's unredeemable. But we'll have to wait and see exactly what they got in store there. But to me, that's what we're building to, guys. We're building to that confrontation between Opaline and Misty. And whatever it results in at the end, it's going to get people talking, just like they did recently with Chapter 4 and its ending. But what do you guys think? How do you think we're going to get to this moment? How do you think it will all come together between now with the Tell Your Tale shorts, the ending of Chapter 4, going into Chapter 5 and Chapter 6, along again with the Tell Your Tale stuff? How do you think it's all going to piece together, come about? Let me know in the comment section below, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. Like the video. Super chats are open in the live chat during the premiere if you want to help donate that way. Also check out the Teespring stores, guys. And also you'll get an audio podcast version of this at BW Resist Discussions. And until next time, guys, I will talk to y'all later. Also check me out on my Patreon. And I am out.